The Columbus Crew will take on the Philadelphia Union today at 6 p.m. The Crew have won their last 2 matches and are currently 4th in the Eastern Conference, while the Philadelphia Union are the top team in the entire MLS with the most points. Chicago Bulls are sending Lonzo Ball to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Isaac Okoro. Ball played in 35 games last season after missing the past 2 due to major injury. He averaged 7.6 points, 3.4 rebounds, and 3.3 assists per game this season. The Cincinnati Reds lost to the San Diego Padres 6-4 yesterday. The Reds can win the rubber match game today at 1:40, with coverage starting on the Fan at 1:10. And the Cleveland Guardians fell to the St. Louis Cardinals 9-6 yesterday. The 2 sides will meet again today at 12:05. Breaking sports news when it happens on Ohio's sports destination, 97.1 The Fan.
From ONN, this is Hollywood Casinos On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Here are your hosts, Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Welcome to On the Money. I am Dave Biddle. I am joined by Scotty Vegas. We have producer Cam Taylor at the controls. This is your first time hearing our show. This is a show about sports gambling, and we like to talk sports in general. We're going to do a segment called This or That during the show, and we're going to have an off-the-top segment where Scotty's going to quiz me about futures odds or just different betting odds and see if how far off I can be on my guesses. But Scotty Vegas, great to see you as always. How you doing this morning, my friend?
So good to see you, Dave. In fact, this morning I feel like I was like a football player and forgot my helmet on the sidelines. So I go to sit down. The music is starting for the show to start, and I realize I don't have my headset. My headset's about 5 yards away in my book bag. So I'm running over. I know I'm running over there to try and get it real quick. And you started the show. I appreciate that. I was chasing down my helmet or chasing down my headphones. But I'm good, Dave. Good to see you.
I'm trying to think. Thurman Thomas? It just hit me. I was like, who was the one in the Super Bowl? I'm like, I know. That was Thurman Thomas.
Yeah.
That's got to be the worst time possible to forget your helmet.
Could you imagine?
You're in the Super Bowl. Oh my gosh.
And that was at the very start of the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least we know if it was a Super Bowl, it ended well for the Bills, right? Sorry, Buffalo fans. That was a low blow. Hey, as a Bengal fan, we're not too far behind you. We're 0-3, so we're knocking on the door of joining the Bills and the Vikings of being 0-4 in Super Bowls. Hopefully, one of those teams can get over the hump. Most especially the Bengals. All right, let's get into it. So I know you're just knee-deep into the NHL draft, right?
Oh, absolutely, Dave.
Yes.
Actually, I heard you and Ryan kind of previewing it on Friday, and so it really kind of did get me interested in seeing what the heck the Blue Jackets were going to do with multiple first-round picks.
Yeah, and they looked, I won't say they tried to trade them. They definitely were involved in some trade offers, and I think what it came down to is the Blue Jackets were not willing to overpay for Dobson. It would have taken both first-round picks. It might have taken Voronkov on top of that and maybe Brindley on top of that. So that's just too much. Once I heard both first-round picks and Voronkov, I'm like, no. It'd be one thing if this guy was signed for a long time for like $5 million a year, but not only would you have been giving up a bunch of assets to get Dobson, I mean, you're also paying him $9.5 million a year. So those two things, I'm glad the Blue Jackets did not overpay. And I'm not going to pretend to be an NFL draft expert, but I did read a lot of draft experts. I had Jackson Smith going in the top 10. A lot of people had him going in the top 10 defenseman. The Jackets got him with the 14th pick. Then they got a goalie from Russia with the 20th pick. But it looks like good value getting Jackson Smith with the 14th pick. He's a defenseman. Couple years away from probably even having a chance to help the Jackets, but he's going to play at Penn State this coming year. So we're going to have last year's first-round pick. Lindstrom's going to be playing at Michigan State this year. This year's first-round pick, Jackson Smith's going to be playing at Penn State. So other than when those guys are playing against Ohio State, I'll be rooting for them.
Man, I'll tell you, Dave, every time you say Jackson Smith, I want to add an Njigba at the end. I really do. You said it like 4 times within about 2 minutes. And in my head, I'm like, Njigba.
Njigba.
You know, and it's funny, but okay. So let's talk a little bit Blue Jackets, because now your post draft. You had a season last year where you were right in it until the very end, whether you're going to be a playoff team or not. So it got me kind of curious of what the odds say, the expectations for the Blue Jackets should be this coming year. Because here in Columbus, everybody's got their own expectations. I think most people are saying, okay, this should be a playoff team, or at least right there to be a playoff team. So what do the odds say? So the odds actually have the Blue Jackets at 75-1 to win the Stanley Cup. good for the 20th best odds as far as every team out there, which, by the way, 20th best odds puts you as probably about a bubble team of whether you are going to be a playoff team
Probably
next
out,
year.
though, because only 8 and
Correct.
16 make,
16
and
make
they have
it.
them, 10th, 10th in the Eastern Conference. This is the thing. If you look at the betting odds, they're expecting the Jackets to actually take a minor step back this year because they were the first team out last year. So if they were 9th in the East last year, looking at my list here, they have the 10th best odds in the East. So they're expected to take a minor step back, which would not shock me. We all know sports is not linear. It's not like, well, Jackets were young. They got all the way, the last team out, first team to not make the playoffs. So they're definitely going to take another step and make it this year, right? Maybe not. I do think in 2 years they're going to be a problem. Hopefully they can, though, sneak in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, what we need this coming winter, obviously we need another national championship in football for Ohio State, but we also need for next spring, we need Buckeye hoops in March Madness, in the NCAA tournament, and we need the Blue Jackets in the playoffs because, of course, Buckeye basketball, it's been 3 or 4 years now since we've seen them in March Madness. It's been a while since we've seen the Blue Jackets play in playoff hockey. So it kind of made me think, okay, we think that the Blue Jackets were a bubble playoff team last year, almost got in, and OSU Basketball was one of those teams that was one of the first handful of teams out of the tournament last year. So close in both sports last year. What would you, if we're playing odds makers here, which we like to do here on the Money, what odds would you place that the Blue Jackets and the Buckeyes are both playing in the postseason next year?
You're going to parlay that, huh?
Yeah, what would we set that line at? Because
so I'm pretty convinced Ohio State football is going to be in. They could be 10
basketball.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about
Basketball.
football. My bad.
Yes.
Okay, let's see here. I actually think they will make if I had to bet, I think they will make the tournament, Ohio State men's basketball, because
what
they
do we
were
put
close
those
this
odds
year.
at?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So if you combine that with the Jackets, so the Jackets right now would be probably 2-1 underdog or something like that to make the playoffs. I'd probably have to go 3-1.
3-1 that Ohio State
Both.
and
3-1, yeah.
that Ohio State hoops makes March
maybe
Madness.
Maybe more 4-1. I don't know. 3-1 is probably
Okay, so
somewhere around there.
Let's
What about
do this
you?
percentage-wise, Dave. So for me, I think there's probably about a 75% chance OSU Hoops makes March Madness. If I had to say right here today, give me a percentage chance that Ohio State's in the big dance, I'd say about a 3 out of 4.
I agree.
So about 75%. Blue Jacket hockey, obviously a little bit longer odds. I'd probably put that maybe about 33%, 1 and 3. So I guess I would probably say both of those things happening is probably a little bit less than 50%, maybe like a 40%. So I could say maybe 2-1 that both the Blue Jackets and the Buckeyes basketball team are playing postseason next year.
I would need a little bit better odds. I would need 3-1 probably to make a big $5 bet on that.
Mainly because of the Blue Jackets, though.
Yeah, definitely, because I think it's going to be tough because the Eastern Conference is tough. Like we said, we just talked about the odds they have. It's not like they're expected to be way on the outside looking in, but they're supposed to be the 10th best team in the East this year. Again, this is according to the odds. And right now, the one I'm looking at on ESPN Bet, you can't bet on just if the Jackets will make the playoffs, but they do have the Stanley Cup odds. For those that are wondering, real quick, your favorite to win the Stanley Cup this next year, the Hurricanes at 7-1. Panthers, can they three-peat? They're 7.5-1. And then over in the Western Conference, the Oilers 8-1 to win it all, get over the hump after being the runner-up the last 2 years. And then the Colorado Avalanche at 8.5-1 to win the Stanley Cup next year. I just love where the Blue Jackets are at. Just their infrastructure, their general manager, their head coach, everything, the young core, and some of the pieces they're adding. And they're still going to add more. I feel like this is going to be they're going to be, and maybe they will be a big problem this coming year. I think in 2 years, they're going to be a big-time threat. All right, up next, what's the latest with Ohio State football? We're going to check in with the Buckeyes next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be, and if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Tri-State Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
Common Man here. I want to talk to you about my buddy Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. It's rare that a business comes along and offers you such great quality, service, price. If you or someone you love or like, or even strangers on the street tell you they need a jeweler, tell them you got a guy, and that guy is Bob Capace at Worthington Jewelers.
I'm Bob Capace, and I'm your guy.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged.
What does it mean to live here, serve here in the Ohio Army National Guard?
It means I can attend college full-time and not have to take out student loans to pay for my tuition.
It means I can work my civilian job during the week and support my state and nation in times of need.
You too can live here, serve here as a member of the Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with full-time benefits at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
So I'm curious of listeners' opinions. We gave our opinions this last segment on percentage chance that we think that the Blue Jackets are going to be a playoff team next year and percentage chance that Ohio State basketball will play in March Madness. For me, it was 75% chance that Ohio State football or that Ohio State basketball was going to play in March Madness. And then for Blue Jacket hockey, I was about 33%, 1-3, that the Jackets will make the playoffs. So we kind of did our own sports book odds. The On the Money sports book kind of put it at about 2-1 that both teams will be playing in the postseason. One team that we definitely think will be playing postseason is Ohio State football. In fact, Dave, 9 weeks from yesterday is the time for Ohio State and Texas. Can't wait for that. 62 days away now. And here are the different options that you can bet on Ohio State. You have Ohio State -3 against Texas, -140 on the money line. The over-under on that game's 50.5. If you like Ohio State to win it all, the odds are Ohio State +550. They have the same odds as Texas in the ESPN bet to win the national championship. In Big Ten conference odds, Ohio State's 2-1 to win the Big Ten. Oregon and Penn State are right behind Ohio State at +275. And then to make the college football playoffs, Ohio State is -320 in the ESPN bet app. Okay, Dave, out of all the different things that you can bet on Ohio State, what's the most attractive? What has the best value to you?
Probably to make the playoff, but you're not getting great value there, though, at -320. But I just feel like, because it would really have to go off the rails, and I don't think it's going to go off the rails. What's going off the rails for Ohio State? 9-3. Okay, if they're 10-2 or better, they're in for sure, especially with the schedule they have. And I don't see them losing 3 games. I could see them losing 2. I have them going 11-1. I think they're going to lose 1. It's too tough of a schedule. It's crazy to me they're leading off the season with Texas. I love it. I think it's great for the fans. I don't know if Ryan Day thinks it's great. I don't know if Sark thinks it's great. I know they know it's exciting, though. But it's one of those games, Scotty. It's interesting. Whichever team loses, as long as they don't get blown out, like it's almost like it's not going to hurt you unless you have like a really bad loss. Like let's say even if you're Texas, let's say if you finish 9-3. I think we've even talked about this. You're Texas. Your losses are 3 points at Ohio State, who ends up being a really good team and one of the top teams in the nation and makes the CFP. Then you lose 2 close SEC games on the road. And then you'd have some good wins mixed in there. You're 9-3 Texas. You're making that regardless. And where it wouldn't hurt you is you could be 10-2 Texas, but instead of losing to Ohio State, you beat some Sisters of the Poor team. It wouldn't change your resume at all. So I like that Ohio State and Texas are playing. It's amazing to me, all the side plots. So they just played in the CFP semifinals. They're the co-betting favorites roughly to win the national championship this year, and they're leading off the season with each other. And, Scotty, it's exactly 20 years after that super exciting game and the build-up to it, that Ohio State-Texas game in 2005. It was a night game. I mean, the build-up to that game was crazy because I think they had never played before. 2 of the blue bloods of college football. And it was a great game. Didn't go the Buckeyes' way, but it was a great game, and I cannot wait for that Texas game. But, yeah, I would go with Ohio State to make the CFP field as the safest bet. What about you?
Yeah, definitely the safest bet. I'd be absolutely shocked. In fact, of all teams in the country, we know Ohio State has the as good as anybody else's odds to win the national championship. They also have the best odds to make the college football playoff. If you were to look across the board as far as value goes, Ohio State 2-1 to win the Big Ten. Their over-under regular season win total is 10.5. I'll tell you what, the Buckeye bet that I think offers the most value of anything. I'm going to go a little off the board at you here.
I like it.
It's Jeremiah Smith 9-1 to win the Heisman. And I've talked to you about this a lot during this offseason, that I just believe that if Ohio State gets off to that opening win, they're a 3-point favorite against Texas. If they get off to that win and Jeremiah Smith has a big first game, that just kind of sets everything up where I think immediately if Ohio State wins that, Jeremiah Smith probably becomes the Heisman favorite. Because right now the Heisman favorite is Arch Manning. Okay, if Ohio State and Jeremiah Smith come out with a huge game, I think that changes and flips in a hurry. So as far as value goes across the board, safest bet, I agree, Ohio State to make the playoff. But the value, 9-1 on Jeremiah Smith, I think that's it.
And I know a good friend of mine that got it at 18-1.
Yeah. That was a little bit better value.
That being you, got it at 18-1 a few months ago. Nice work getting in on that early, and now it's been cut in half. Pretty good stuff. So Ohio State's been putting together a really good recruiting class, but they hadn't had any defensive tackles commit to the class. Well, they got one to commit on Friday, and they got another to commit yesterday. We're going to talk about that next on The Money.
This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Summer is in full swing. If you think you're hot, well, so are your trees. You can help your trees by watering them, especially if they're newly planted. During the hot, dry summer months, your trees could use a water boost. Watering new trees a few times a week will help them survive while they're developing their root system, so don't forget about them. To find out more about watering trees or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, Ohio.org.
Does heel pain make you hobble just getting out of bed in the morning? If heel pain is affecting your ability to exercise and meet your walking or running goals, relief is as close as your local podiatrist. Podiatric physicians are highly trained doctors who specialize in medical and surgical treatment of the foot and ankle. Ohio Foot and Ankle podiatric physicians are available across the state and are devoted to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care.
For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to Hollywood Casinos On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
On ONN.
Welcome back to On the Money. Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas, Cam Taylor. All right, so Ohio State putting together another great recruiting class, which they do every year. They're always top 5. Sometimes they get up to second. They've never, since they've been doing this, so they've been doing recruiting rankings, they've never finished number 1, but they finished number 2 several times. And those times they finished number 2, those have been like just phenomenal classes. I'm talking like 2013, 2017, 2021. The 2021 class was like the crux of this year's national championship team. Even going back, I mean, Tressel's first real class, 2002, they finished number 2 in the recruiting rankings behind Vince Young in Texas. 2 pretty good recruiting classes back there in 2002. So let's get into it. So they're putting together a really good class. But, Scotty, the one thing people would ask me is like, what's going on with Larry Johnson? They have 1 defensive end in the class, and that's it. No defensive tackles. What's going on? Well, Larry Johnson, I got to give Matt Patricia a lot of respect here, too. Matt Patricia's doing a really good job pounding the pavement. Seems to really like recruiting. That was one thing Jim Knowles didn't really get into. He wasn't a big recruiter, but Matt Patricia's doing a really good job. But they landed on Friday their first D tackle in the class. His name is Damari Simeon. He's out of Richland, New Jersey. This kid blew up. A few months ago, he didn't even have a rating, and then he had a really good junior season and has been blown up on the camp circuit. So they got defensive tackle Damari Simeon out of Jersey, and they've been recruiting Jersey really well. And then yesterday, out of IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, they got Cameron Brickle, defensive tackle. He's already 6'2", 305. If he's 305 pounds entering his senior year of high school, he's probably not going to stay at 305. And I mean that as a compliment. I like my big D tackles. If there's one position on the field, I don't mind seeing a floppy belly. And in fact, I like seeing a floppy belly. It's a D tackle. Not every D tackle. You got to have your jacked up D tackles too. But getting Damari Simeon and Cameron Brickle on back-to-back days, now the Buckeyes have their 2 D tackles in the class, and I think they're going to get one more. The Perez kid from Glenville, he'll be a Buckeye. He's all of 6'4", 340, probably more like 360. So I think they're going to get 3 D tackles in this class.
And that's huge, too, because if you think about it over the last several years, what's the main thing that people that follow recruiting and Ohio State recruiting talk about? It's like up front, right? Defensive line and offensive line with the recruiting. And that's been the concern because Ohio State's done so well in all the other positions. It's been about offensive line and defensive line depth. And so landing these guys this weekend, huge. Now, we were talking about Ohio State odds and different things that you can bet this season. One thing that is out there are future lines as well. So individual games, look ahead lines. We talked about Ohio State being a 3-point favorite in that opener against Texas. There's even an over-under on that game, 50.5, and Ohio State money line is out there at -140. However, there are 3 other games that there are look-ahead lines to. Ohio State at Washington is out there available. Ohio State is a 2-touchdown favorite in that look-ahead line. So it's Ohio State minus 14 at Washington. But there's two more that I want you to guess at. One is Ohio State and Penn State, because if you start looking at a lot of these preseason rankings, a lot of people have Penn State in the top 3, top 5 of their preseason rankings. They're obviously coming here to Columbus. What do you think that look-ahead line is for Ohio State, Penn State?
I'm debating between 3.5 and 4.5, so I'll just go 4. Ohio State 4.
Really good. You should have went with the 4.5 because that's exactly where it's at.
Yeah.
But very good. Right on. We're right close to that number there. Ohio State a 4.5 favorite in the look-ahead line against Penn State at home. And then the last one, of course, is Ohio State at Michigan.
At Michigan. Okay, Ohio State is favored by 6.5.
Close, 5.5.
Okay.
So Ohio State 5.5 point favorite over Michigan. Those are the 4 games that you can bet on right now. Those are the 4 look-ahead lines. Texas, -3 for Ohio State. OSU, Washington. OSU is a 14-point favorite. OSU, Penn State, 4.5. And OSU, Michigan, 5.5.
Surprised Illinois is not on there. That's the other game that I have circled. You have the 3 big ones. And listen, going to Seattle and playing Washington will not be easy because they've got a young quarterback who's really good. They were better than I thought in year 1 of the Jed Fish era because they lost like everybody offensively from that team that made the national championship. And they weren't good last year, but they were better than expected. Again, I think Ohio State's going to be fine going to Seattle and playing, but it won't be easy. At Illinois could be tricky. Again, I think Ohio State's going to win that game, but Illinois was 10-3 last year. I think they're going to be better this year, and that's a tough place to play, that wind tunnel in Champaign Memorial Stadium.
Okay, how about this? You won a line for that game. What would you guess that line to be? I don't have the line, so this one isn't one we can actually judge you on.
It's got to be similar to Washington, but not as high. So I'm guessing it'd be around like 10.5, 11.5. It wouldn't be 14 because Illinois is supposed to be better than Washington, but I don't think it'd be single digits. I think it'd probably be around a 10.5. 11.5 at the most.
Sounds about right for me as well. Now, the fun thing that we do during the college football season, we do a lot of fun things. But one of the fun things we do is we like to guess ahead at lines. And that's a great way for people who are out there doing sports betting to guess at what you think a line would be before you actually look to see what that line is, because you can kind of see if there's some mental value in that betting line. So if you were to guess, let's say OSU, Illinois, the line being, you and I would guess it around 10.5, and it comes out at 7, then you see that 3-point value right there. And then it works the other way too. Let's say it comes out and Illinois, OSU, the line is actually 17, but we thought the line was going to be 10.5. Then there's value the other way. So it's a good practice when you are betting on sports to, before you look at the line, to guess what you think that line's going to be.
It's such a good idea. We should actually have like a segment where like you have me try to guess lines that you already know. Mm-hmm. We should call it Off the Top.
Ooh.
That's next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we helped Chad.
Hi, I'm Chad. I've been taking the low T treatment at Tri-State Men's Health for a little under a year now. So I was really just struggling with finding the energy to accomplish the things I wanted to do every day. By the end of the workday, I was very drained and tired and found it hard to concentrate and get my job done, and was looking for something to kind of get that edge back. Once I started taking the treatment, I felt probably within the first 2 to 3 weeks more energy. And the thing that really I noticed right away was sleeping. Now I get a solid 8 hours. You know, I'm going on vacation. I'm enjoying myself. So men out there, if you're struggling with any of the symptoms I was, low energy, brain fog, lack of sleep, I would highly recommend you call Tri-State Men's Health. You won't regret it.
Thanks, Chad. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Save big on 18-ounce containers of blueberries or 12-ounce containers of raspberries. Right now, they're only $3.77 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings because you're driving to Paris,
Texas!
Then it's off to Rome,
Georgia!
And you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio!
Right now, save up to $494 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
Common Man and Timmy talking to you about the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
Our guys at Hollywood are pulling out all the stops for summertime fun, live bands, food trucks, and more fun on select Saturdays.
Are they still doing the all-you-can-eat ribs?
Oh, yes, ribs. Tuesdays and Thursdays in June at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook.
Join Penn Play Rewards and play up to $500 on us. Not Hollywood. Timmy and I are paying for it.
No, we're not. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm an old school Joe, and my philosophy is simple and effective. At the end of the day, it's not what you win or lose, it's what you save. And betting reduced juice at Prime Sports Ohio is the way to save money on every single bet. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Let's have some fun on the money. It is our segment called Off the Top. And it's a little bit of a play because a lot of times we do little Scotty Doesn't Know, in which you quiz me on different things. Oh, there we go. Cam always has it ready to go.
That's right.
He does a great job producing our show, and he's always ready for it. So usually we do Scotty Doesn't Know, but in this case, I try to make you look like the idiot in this segment where I ask you questions, and if you get it wrong, then it's on you.
Now, to be clear, I don't try to make you look like an idiot and Scotty doesn't know. I really don't. I just think it's a fun segment.
I just
really
do it on my own.
No, you don't. You did really well last week.
I did. That was the vacation. Yeah.
Vacation themed. Yeah,
right, well,
you did really well.
This Off the Top is all college football fans.
Yes, I've heard of it.
All right.
I like it.
So here's the deal. I'm going to ask you 3 different questions, and we'll see how well you do. These are all based on the betting odds. Okay, so first off, how well do you know the Mid-American Conference? I know
who the defending champion is, the
yes,
Ohio University Bobcats.
OU.
And that OU's going to be getting a lot of my money over the next, hopefully she graduates in just 3 years. It'll probably be more like 5, though. I'm kidding, Megan. It'll be 4.
I love, by the way, that you looked, 2 things that I love. You looked at your wrist, which, number one, why? Like, it's not like you have a watch on. You don't even have a watch on.
Right.
So that's number one. Number 2, you're looking at the wrist thinking time, but you're talking years, not minutes, hours, seconds.
Yes, that's true. And a lot of money.
And a lot of money. You should have been looking at your wallet. Open up the wallet.
I tried to get her to have a tennis scholarship, but she fell a little short of that.
Okay, so all right, here's the MAC related question for you, Dave. What team is favored to win the Mid-American Conference this coming football season?
I would like to say it's the Bobcats. They're returning their quarterback, but they lost their head coach. They lost a lot of guys. So I'll go with the Toledo Rockets.
Yes. That is correct. It is Toledo. They are plus 260. Right behind them, however, is the Ohio Bobcats at plus 350, followed by Buffalo at plus 450. Okay, now we're going from the top of the MAC to the bottom of the Big Ten.
Okay.
Who are the 2 Big Ten teams with the lowest overall season win totals for this coming year? So, of course, this is regular season.
One is Purdue.
12 games. Who has the lowest overall win total? Purdue is correct.
Purdue's
Who's the other
one of
one?
them. Let me think here. All right, UCLA is in the mix. I mean, I'm not saying I'm picking them.
Okay.
Maryland's going to be in the mix. Let me see here. All right, Indiana. Give me UCLA.
Nope.
Maryland.
Nope.
Darn it. So Purdue and what obvious team am I forgetting here? Rutgers?
Nope.
They're actually supposed to be decent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Gosh, who am I forgetting? Wisconsin?
Nope.
Minnesota?
Not Fickle? Nope.
Oh, I know. The smallest school. Yeah, Northwestern.
Yes, there we go.
I knew I was forgetting it. Yes.
All right, so basically you're 1
terrible.
for 2 so far.
Yeah, that was really bad.
And off the top, you got that the Toledo Rockets are favored to win the MAC. The two teams with the lowest win totals for in the Big Ten are Northwestern and Purdue. Okay, here we go. 2 teams are tied for the best odds to finish undefeated in the regular season at 12-0. 2 teams are 4-1 to do this. Okay, who are they?
To finish undefeated.
Yep. 12-0 regular season. These 2 teams are 4-1 to do it. Who are they?
Ohio State.
That's 1.
And Clemson.
It is not Clemson.
I was trying to just because it was ACC. Of course, they have to play LSU.
It's a good guess. Keep going.
Texas.
It's not Texas.
Georgia.
It's not Georgia.
Am I in the conference?
No.
There you go. That's why I deserve the Price is Right losing horn. Just tell me. I don't know.
Okay. Notre Dame.
Oh, interesting.
Notre Dame and Ohio State are 4-1 to go 12-0. A lot of it, of course, is based on schedule with Notre Dame, right? They have a couple tough games early, but if they get by those, good chance they win out and get to 12-0. Here are the odds. Oregon is plus 450 to go undefeated. Clemson and Penn State are both 5-1 to go 12-0. So
I'm
those
surprised.
are your odds.
I'm surprised Ohio State because Ohio State's over under is 10.5, but you're getting plus money if you want to do 10.5. You go over, you're getting plus money. You're getting, you'd have to be giving up a little bit if you go under 10.5. So really, they think Ohio State's going to win 10 games or less, probably.
Off the top was so fun. I think let's do more of it. And we're going to not just do college football, we're going to do grab bag. All sports off the top is next.
This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
When was the last time you had your plumbing inspected? Small issues such as tiny leaks or old water heaters can quickly turn into big problems if they're not caught early. Take action with Logan Services and schedule a free plumbing safety inspection to help keep your home running smoothly. Schedule your free inspection now and experience the fast, friendly service you've come to expect from Logan Services.
Going up. Prices keep going up these days. It feels like being on an elevator that only goes up. Going up. But not at Metro. We're pushing the down button. Going down. We've lowered prices. Get one line of 5G data for $40, period. That's 20% lower. And you get a free Samsung 5G phone when you bring your number. Only at Metro.
5-year guarantee on eligible plans. Exclusions apply. See website for details. Not available at Metro with T-Mobile in the past 6 months. Tax applies.
When you join the plus side with AAA, that's all you'll have to do. Or you could learn to change your own tire.
Hey fam, what's up? Today I'm gonna teach you to change a flat. Before we start, make sure it's not raining. or hailing, or lightning.
Skip the hard work. On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
Earn $200 when you spend $2,000 in the first 90 days with a new Visa from Kemba Financial Credit Union. Plus, pay 0% APR on balances transferred in the first 90 days for 15 months. Visit Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. APR equals annual percentage rate. Offer ends June 30th, 2025. Equal opportunity lender.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
On ONN.
All right. Second segment of Off the Top. I don't know why I suggested this when I put the show sheet together to make myself look stupid, but here we go. Part 2 of me looking stupid. Scotty, the floor is yours.
Okay, segment 1, we did all college football. This is grab bag. We're going across 4 different sports in this edition of Off the Top. And play at home, by the way. If you're riding along, listening to us on the way somewhere, play along. You can try and answer these questions too. If you're on the YouTube chat, feel free to throw your answers in there. So we want audience participation. In fact, we want audience participation next hour too, because we're going to be taking some of your calls here on the Money. But Dave, we've got Wimbledon starting up. And so I need from you the men's and women's betting favorite at Wimbledon. Who are they?
Yannick Sinner is the favorite for the men. Do I have that right?
No, you don't.
Okay, so it's Alcaraz.
Yep, Carlos Alcaraz is the favorite.
Good. I think he should be. I just thought it would be steroid Sinner. And then for the ladies, is my hint Minsk or Washington, D.C.? Can you give me a hint? Minsk or Washington, D.C.? I'll go with Minsk. I'll go with Sabalenka.
It is Sabalenka. Okay. Yeah, it is Sabalenka. She is plus 240.
And Coco's number 2?
Coco, I think, is 3.
3? Okay.
Alcaraz, by the way, is plus 120. Sinner plus 185. So not a huge difference between Alcaraz and Sinner, but Alcaraz is the favorite at Wimbledon.
I like that Djokovic came out and said, this is my last best chance. It was kind of like self-deprecating and saying, you better watch out. He said, this is my last best chance to win my 25th. I was like, that a boy.
I hope he does.
Just put it out there. That'd be cool.
I would love to see that. I'm a Djokovic fan. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't like
I used to not like him, and I've changed my, because we're watching greatness, and I think, I actually do think, well, he's been great for the sport, and I do like him now. I've completely changed my tune on the Joker.
24 slams, and I get it, because a lot of people love Nadal, and a lot of people loved Federer, so it's like you didn't want him to pass those number of slams. Well, Djokovic has now already done it, so that problem is over. Now just enjoy the end of one of the best players of all time. Okay, let's go back to Off the Top. We're going baseball, and you should know this one really well because my good buddy here has a big bet on the Reds. Okay, in the ESPN Bet app, you can still bet current season win totals over unders. And so from within 3 games, I need you to give me the Reds' current season win total over under. What is it?
Now, to begin the season, it was 78.5.
Yes. And you took it. You ran with it.
I took it a lot, and I kept taking it. So they're like, if you just look at it, they had, they were technically on pace for 84 wins halfway through the year. I'll say it's a little less than that. I'll say it's 82.5.
Okay, very good. Very good. It's actually 81.5, but you are within 3, so you were in the comfort zone. And by the way, you could maybe start thinking about hedging a little bit the huge bet that you made and maybe win both ways.
Ooh, there you go. Middle it a little bit.
See if you could maybe get a little win streak for the Reds.
Yeah.
And then maybe that total goes to 83, 84.5, and then you could kind of middle it and win both ways.
Ooh, that'd be great.
Because I know how much you have on the over.
You do.
And it's a good amount.
You do, yes.
Okay, we did the Reds. Now let's do the Guardians.
Okay.
What's their season over/under win total currently?
So they're 1 game under 500. I was hoping they'd beat the Cardinals yesterday. They got it, but they lost. I'm going to say they are 79.5.
Really good guess as well. They are actually 80.5 right now. That's their season win total. Okay, so good job. You swept the baseball. You didn't win the tennis. Let's now move to the NFL. 5 teams in the NFL have single-digit Super Bowl odds Who are those 5 teams?
Okay, Ravens.
Yes, that's one.
Bills.
Yep.
Chiefs.
Yep.
Niners.
No. Oh, no.
Lions.
Yes.
And Eagles.
Yes. Okay.
Does 5 out of 6, does that count, or do I have to get a 5 for 5?
Cam, 5 out of 6 thoughts. Does that count? Oh, he says no.
All right. I'll remember that, Cam.
Okay, so you're 1 for 3 this segment.
God, jeez.
Can you get to 500? Okay.
Oh, God.
Within one game, what is the season win total for the Browns?
For the Cleveland Football Browns.
Over under
we'll be
season
moving
win
into a
total.
dome stadium here in a few years, huh?
And you know what? I'm going to say within 2 games. You got to get it within 2.
Get it within 2 games. All right. So the Cleveland Browns over under is going to be 4.5 wins.
Yes. Okay, you hit it right on the number. Okay, last one. This is to get you to 500 for the day. Bengals season win total. Get it within a game.
10.5.
Bam! You did it. Right on the number. Right on the money. You know what's coming up next? We're going to be talking a little Ohio State hoops. This is On the Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at ChangeTheGameOhio.org. That's ChangeTheGameOhio.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state.
ONN affiliate WBNS TV reports.
Haley Kirby reporting in downtown Toledo.
From the State House, Kevin Landers.
ONN Canton. ONN affiliate WKYC TV in Cleveland explains.
In Marietta, Brett Wharf, ONN News.
Emma Henderson in Genoa.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at ONNRadio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network.
The outdoor drama Tecumseh is back this summer. The drama, the history, and the spectacle make Tecumseh one of Ohio's most beloved traditions. Tecumseh has provided thrilling live entertainment for 50 years, and the outdoor theater at Sugarloaf Mountain will provide a safe and memorable experience for your entire family. Get tickets now at tecumsehdrama.com. This message is made possible in part by the Ohio Arts Council. Tecumseh, experience the drama.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Are you in need of basic dental treatment but can't afford the cost? There may be a solution. Hi, I'm Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, and I'm excited to tell you about a program called Dental Options. Dental Options is a partnership between the Ohio Dental Association and the Ohio Department of Health, in which qualifying patients can be paired with a dentist to receive discounted or even free dental care. Eligibility for the program is based on your financial situation. For more information or to apply, call 1-888-765-6789.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Welcome back to On the Money. Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas, Cam Taylor. Let's talk some Ohio State men's basketball. What our expectations are for this coming season. What would constitute a successful season in our book? One thing that would constitute a successful season is if they won the national championship.
Yes.
And you're getting, what is it? You're getting 80-1 odds for Ohio State to win the national championship. Interesting. This kind of surprised me. Purdue is your co-betting favorite to win the national title at 10-1, along with Houston. Duke's 13-1, Kansas 16-1, Florida 17-1, Kentucky also 17-1. All right,
80-1. So where does that put them as far as teams? Like if they were ranking how many teams out there, what as far as best odds to win the national championship? Where is Ohio State? I'm guessing
in the 30s.
Yeah, I was going to say it probably puts them borderline top 25. Right?
Yeah, just outside the top 25, right around 30th. It would be. They'd actually be tied with a lot of teams. Actually, they'd be barely inside the top 30 because they would be tied with the following teams. They would be tied with Oregon, Missouri, Virginia, and Baylor.
Okay, so 80-1. Let's talk about the expectations now, because to me, earlier in the hour, we said I thought that it'd be about a 75% chance that this Ohio State basketball team was a tournament team. And it's hard to say that because, gosh, they've missed the last few, and going into the year, honestly, I thought they were going to be tournament teams, including last year. So 75% chance to me that they're a tournament team, but expectations now. Is it enough to just at this point, because they've missed a few in a row, to think, okay, it's a successful season if Ohio State just makes it in? Let's say they get in as a 8, 9, 10, 11 seed, somewhere in that, and they're in the tournament. Is that success? I'm going to say no. I think with what they have coming back, which of course is Bruce Thornton, it's Mobley, and it's Royal. So you got your core 3 guys back. I believe the expectation should be that this is a top 5 team in the Big Ten, and that I think they should be probably a top 6 seed in the NCAA tournament. That's kind of my expectations. Now, once you get into the tournament, it's a crapshoot as far as matchups go, and it's hard to say they should be a second-round team or they should be a Sweet 16 team. I think more looking at the whole season, top 5 of the Big Ten, and a top 6 seed in the NCAA tournament. I think that's the expectations for me.
Yes, I would have a hard time saying, and I know we're all going to be happy if they just make the tournament because of what's happened in recent years, but that should not be the standard at Ohio State, even though right now it is. If they snuck in the tournament, they're a middle-of-the-road Big Ten team, but they're just a little bit better than they were last year, and they snuck in the tournament instead of being one of the first 8 teams out, and then they lose in the first round, I'm not going to be sitting here coming on the radio the next day saying, well, this was a successful season.
Right.
Now, to me, I'm with you, man. If they're in the top half of the Big Ten, certainly if they're in the top 5, top 6 of the Big Ten, make the tournament and win a game, that's a successful season.
You and I were talking about this during the break, how spoiled we got during the Thad Matta era, where you and I were saying like, oh man, that team that lost in the Elite Eight, that was really disappointing.
How are you going to lose to Wichita State? Elite Eight, come on. Jeez, just getting to the Elite Eight like a bunch of losers.
And it was, you could punch the ticket to the Sweet 16 every year. For a stretch there.
Oh, I was ticked off the year they got, obviously, we all were. They got to the Sweet 16. I covered that game in the beautiful town, wink, wink, of Newark, New Jersey, and Kentucky upset them with that last-second shot. It wasn't last second. Ohio State actually missed a last-second shot that would have won it. But, yeah, they got to the Sweet 16, and we were just, like, ticked off the entire drive home. If we got to the Sweet 16 this year, we'd just be, like, thrilled. It would be like throwing parties.
If we were to power rank the most disappointing losses in my life as far as sports goes, that would maybe be number 1 for me, because I do believe that if OSU had gotten through that game against Kentucky in the Sweet 16, as you said, in Newark, I think that team wins the national championship.
How old were you in 1992? That's the one for me. That's the last time I cried over a sporting event, when Michigan beat Ohio State.
I was 8.
They, because that was in the Elite Eight. Ohio State beat them twice in the regular season. Number 1 seed, Jimmy Jackson. That was all that final game for those guys. We all knew it. Jimmy was going to go pro after that year. A lot of good seniors on that team. And they should have won the game. Michigan ends up taking it to overtime, beats Ohio State, and the Fab Five end up going to. Now, trust me, I still get mad when my teams lose. I just yell and scream and curse and throw things. That's the last time I cried over a sporting event.
Yeah, the last time I cried was when I lost a bet earlier this year. But as far as that that Ohio State basketball team that lost to Kentucky too. I really believe they would have won the national championship because that year it was a bad championship. It was a bad season. Like you had UConn and Butler in the national championship.
Right.
And it was
terrible. It was the second year that Butler made it. That's right.
Correct.
It wasn't even the good of their. Yeah, Butler was like an 8 seed the second year.
And
they
UConn
made it.
wasn't. That was not a good UConn team. That was just a UConn team that kind of got hot at the right time and won it all. But I think if OSU had won that game against Kentucky, because they were amazing that year.
They were the number 1 overall seed, and they just throttled. Remember, people thought Georgia Mason might give him like a little bit of a game in the second round in Cleveland. They came out there, they were winning by 40 before I even knew what happened.
Yeah,
that was my first time seeing that arena up in Cleveland. I know I was one of the last people to see that. That was a while ago. You're right. That team was great with Aaron Kraft and Sullinger and all those guys and
Deshaun Thomas.
Oh yeah, that was a fantastic. Yeah, Mata definitely spoiled us. All right, the first hour of the show is in the books. We're going to take your calls next at 614-821-9710. Give us a call about anything. 614-821-9710. This is On the Money.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Cheer on your Redlegs when they battle the Miami Marlins July 7th through the 10th. Don't miss another Budweiser 3-2-1 Tuesday featuring $3 beers, $2 hot dogs, and $1 ice cream cups. Plus, on Thursday, July 10th, rock out with country music act Old Dominion when they take the field for an Ohio Lottery post-game concert free to fans with a game ticket. Visit reds.com/tickets today.
Open a money market account at Kemba Financial Credit Union and enjoy a 4.00% APY intro rate until April 2026, 6 times the national average. Maintain easy access to your funds and secure financial stability. Don't miss out. Offer expires July 31st, 2025. Visit Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. Advantage status and $5,000 minimum and $1 million maximum deposit required. APY equals annual percentage yield. Comparison based on FDIC average. Federally insured by NCUA.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. TNCs apply. Available in app only.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Do your summer plans include travel? Make sure your prep includes more than just flights and hotels. Stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccination, especially if you're 65 or older or have certain health conditions. There have been surges in COVID-19 in the summer, too. It's important to help protect yourself no matter your destination. So check eligibility and schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. That's VAXAssist.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Cam Taylor. The Columbus Crew will take on the Philadelphia Union today at 6 p.m. The Crew have won their last 2 matches and are currently 4th in the Eastern Conference, while the Philadelphia Union are the top team in the entire MLS with the most points. The Chicago Bulls are sending Lonzo Ball to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Isaac Okoro. Ball played in 35 games last season after missing the past 2 due to major injury. He averaged 7.6 points, 3.4 rebounds, and 3.3 assists per game this season. The Cincinnati Reds lost to the San Diego Padres 6-4 yesterday. The Reds can win the rubber match game today at 1:40 with coverage starting on the Fan at 1:10. And the Cleveland Guardians fell to the St. Louis Cardinals 9-6 yesterday. The two sides will meet again today at 12:05. Breaking sports news when it happens on Ohio's sports destination, 97.1 The Fan.
Scotty's kids don't ask how his day was. They ask if all his bets won. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sportsbook of ESPN. What a play.
Welcome back to On the Money, 97.1 The Fan. I am Dave Biddle. I'm joined by my friend Scott Prokop. We, of course, like to call him Scotty Vegas. We have producer Cam Taylor at the controls. And right about now, it is time for the Parlay Party. Hit it, Cam. Parlay Parties where we celebrate anything we want to celebrate. Could be a nice parlay that we hit. Could be a nice pizza we ate. Could be anything at all. What are you celebrating, Scotty Vegas?
Ooh, first off, I'm celebrating the fact that we are opening up those phone lines this morning. 614-821-9710. We're taking your calls. Maybe you want to give the percentage chance you think that OSU Hoops is a tournament team, that the Blue Jackets are a playoff team. Maybe our percentages are off from what you guys think. Let's get into that again. Phone lines open, 614-821-9710. And you know what, Dave? I'm going to throw in ESPN Bet dining credit to whatever call we deem our favorite call of the morning. So those lines are open. Give us a ring, 614-821-9710, and you're rewarded with a prize. But Dave, I'm celebrating a lot this morning. I'm celebrating the fact that we are now less than 9 weeks away from that Ohio State Texas game. That's right. Less than 9 weeks now. I'm also celebrating the fact that, guys, last weekend I hit a huge parlay. It was a golf parlay, top 20 parlay. It was one of those 5-figure wins out there for me. It was a good weekend. Also celebrating the fact that on Friday night, our team won our volleyball championship at Flanagan's. We've done the sand volleyball now for multiple years, and we made the championship 3 times. We finally came through and won our first championship. So, Dave, what are you celebrating on this Sunday morning?
I'm celebrating how active you are, man. Like you golf all the time. You know, you'll swim. You know, and I know you swim for like
not
leisure.
A good swimmer.
But yeah, but you you get in the pool at the country club. Is that fair enough?
There you
with
go.
the family, you're a good father.
Yeah.
Getting in the pool with your kids and everything, and your wife. So okay, but you're playing tennis all the time. You're playing golf all the time. You're playing volleyball, and you're good at it. So I think that's really cool how active you are staying. It's not easy when you have kids to stay this active, and especially after you turn 40. But you're doing it, so good for you. I think that's awesome. I'm also celebrating. We're going to take some calls. We actually have somebody on the line we'll get to in a moment. Christian, hang on the line. We're going to get to you. So once again, like Scotty said, if you want to call us, 614-821-9710. Also, you can leave comments and questions on our YouTube page, 971 The Fans YouTube page, which every time I look up, there's about 500 more people have subscribed. It was about 8,000 for a while subscribers. It was 9,000, 10,000. It's all the way up to 14.1 thousand subscribers for our YouTube page, which is still relatively in its infant stages. So give us a call or give us a comment on our YouTube page. Cam, what are you celebrating?
I guess I'm celebrating that I found a new show that I really like, The Studio by Seth Rogen. That's what I started this past weekend. So
you like that one?
Yeah, I do like it.
Okay, I got one episode in, and I'm like, this isn't for me.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Have you guys seen Tires?
I have not seen Tires. I've heard about
Shane Gillis. It's good.
I have not. No.
It's good. If you're a Shane Gillis fan, I would highly recommend it. Yeah, like he writes it, he stars in it, it's really good. Shane Gillis, first season just had 6 episodes. It's on Netflix, right? Yeah, it's on Netflix. Sixth season just had 6 episodes, and just came out season 2. It has 12 episodes.
I just remember Squid season, the final season. Squid Show, the final season just came out as well.
Yeah, Squid Games. And I watched season 1 of that. I want to get back into season 2. Haven't done it. I've had some friends recommend that and continuing on. I was kind of like at the end of 1, I'm like, okay, that was a bit of a journey. I was ready to be done with it. But now, yeah, maybe Squid Games season 2 is on the agenda for me.
All right, playing the role of TJ Friedel or Stephen Kwan. We have our leadoff batter on the line. He is Christian. Welcome to the show, Christian.
What's going on, guys?
Great to hear from you, man. What's going on?
Yes, sir. So I'm always calling in with a Ohio State Buckeye football question, so I got another one for you guys. I was talking to my pops. That's where the fandom started for me, and we were talking about the linebacking core this year with Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, and Peyton Pierce. And I was telling them, I think this linebacking core could be something like what we saw with, A.J. Hawk, Bobby Carpenter, Schlegels, that kind of bringing back that Buckeye linebacking core. So I was just thinking, if you guys could build, say we're running a 4-4-3-4, you can run a 4-deep linebacking system. Who would be on your Ohio State Mount Rushmore for the linebacking corps? Obviously, you got all those guys I just named. You got Shazier, Katzenmoyer. We got a ton. So where you guys go there?
Definitely with Chris Spielman is on my list. I'm going to go with Marcus Merrick, who wore the 36 right before Spielman. He's the all-time tackler. Now, he was a senior in 1982. But that was when I was 6 years old, and I caught the sickness from a young age. So I'm going with a couple of 36s to start out with. Gradishar was a linebacker, right? Gradishar's a Pro Football Hall of Famer, or as Gruden likes to call him, Randy goddamn Gradishar, man. He said it twice. Randy goddamn Gradishar, man. I'm glad he didn't cuss. I didn't have to clean that up on a Sunday. So I'm going with Gradishar. I'm going with Spielman. I'm going with Marcus Merrick. I'm trying to think, who am I leaving out here? Let me think more modern guys here.
I'm going to go A.J. Hawk.
And then
Laurinaitis, James. We gotta include James.
He was James a 3-time All-American? A.J. Hawk was the number 5 overall pick of the draft. But man, we're leaving out like really good players. Like it was I'm trying to think who else we're leaving out here. But like Shazier was a first-round pick.
So he said pick 4.
Oh, 4. I thought he said 5. All right, so I'm going Spielman, Merrick, Gradishar, Hawk.
Okay, I'm going to throw in Andy Katzenmoyer.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
And I'm going to go Katzenmoyer, Spielman, Hawk, and Laurinaitis. Those are the 4. Now, part of it for me is before Andy Katzenmoyer was like the first linebacker that I really remember watching in the 90s there. And so for me, like I'm throwing Spielman in. I never watched Spielman, obviously, in college, but saw his NFL career, so I got to include that. But A.J. Hawk, James Laurinaitis, Andy Katzenmoyer, Chris Spielman. Yeah, sign me up for those 4. Really good call. Fun list to make.
That's a great one, and we'll see. You might have to call back and get a prize. We'll see if your call is better than Robert's. Robert, you're on the Fan.
Hey, fellas, how are you?
We're doing great, man. How about yourself?
Doing good. This is for Scotty Too Hottie Vegas. got a nice little parlay, futures parlay I did.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of want to hear your guys' thoughts. I have the Oklahoma City Thunder, of course they won.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Florida Panthers, of course they won. Then I have the Cincinnati Bengals to win the Super Bowl, and I have the New York Yankees to win the World Series. So those are the last 2 legs I'm waiting for. It's a plus 300K or plus 3,000. Trying to figure out what I should do here.
Well,
sorry. It's a plus 300K. Sorry.
Okay, so look, first off, the fact that you got the first 2 in the books, that's fantastic. I love making these futures parlays because you do get astronomical numbers, like when you do that. So love that you did that, Robert. Bengals and Yankees now. So you got the first 2 done. You got OKC and you got Florida done. Next to Bengals and Yankees. And look, as far as the Bengals, they have the 6th best odds to win the Super Bowl. So what I would probably start doing is maybe start and look to hedge a little bit. You got the Bengals now. Maybe you start looking at some of the other AFC options out there, looking at the Chiefs, obviously, and
the Bengals win the Super Bowl, Robert, I'll just give you $3,000.
Yeah, how about that?
And I'm also going to get a tattoo. I don't have a tattoo.
But I love what Robert did with as far as putting these futures bets together because they are a ton of fun. Like in the fact that you hit the first 2. That's fantastic. So now Bengals and Yankees. I will tell you, I started doing a summer parlay, Dave, where I can't wait long enough for the Super Bowl bet to pay off. So I've been doing things like taking the Wimbledon men's winner, Wimbledon women's winner with Scotty Scheffler to win the British Open. And you can get some really good odds doing that. So I got Sabalenka, Alcaraz, and Scotty Scheffler. And you get good odds when you put these futures bets together.
I don't know why you hate Coco Gauff so much.
I don't hate her. I just think on grass, Sabalenka's the play.
Of course you don't hate her. I tell you, if Sabalenka loses, she's going to give her no credit at all. I played terrible, and Coco got lucky. All right, now you got to pick. You're our promotions director, so which caller gets the prize?
Oh, we're between
Christian and Robert
and Christian. Boy,
both are good
I like
calls.
the betting angle of the futures. He's obviously a bettor. So let's go with Robert because he's already got his futures bet out there. He would love to spend some time in the casino. So let's get him, Robert, we'll get him a dining credit to Hollywood Casino, the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. And maybe he can join us out there at one of our watch parties.
There you go. So, Robert, if you're not still on the line, call back and talk to Cam at 614-821-9710. Christian, you also had a great call. Scotty... I might have given it to Christian, but I defer to Scotty. Real quick, before we take a break here, I want to go to our YouTube chat. Nate's got a good one. This is actually not a good one, but it's an interesting one. It's going to make us kind of bring back bad memories, but I like the question overall. The most brutal Ohio State football loss. For him, it's 05 Texas. He also says 06 Florida, national championship game. For me, now you can pick there's like 7 different games in the Cooper era you could pick. For me, the worst was 96 Michigan. That was not a good Michigan team. It was a lot like this past year. Ohio State I don't know what they did. They just couldn't do anything offensively. They still got up 9-0 in that game, but they had chances to get 3 touchdowns. They had first and goal 3 times in the first half, had to settle for field goals, up 9-0 at halftime. Ty Streets on the spring slips play, takes it the distance. Ohio State's still up 9-7. It felt like the air completely went out of the stadium, and Michigan wins that game 13-9. That cost Ohio State the national championship because regardless, they were going to go to the Rose Bowl and play Arizona State. If they beat Arizona State, they would have been national champs. You could pick 98 Michigan State. You could pick 95 Michigan. There's so many games you could pick, but I'm going to go with 96 Michigan as the most brutal Ohio State loss that I've experienced.
Yeah, I wrote down quite a few just while you were talking there. You know what? That Florida national championship game, because you're kind of feeling like you win that national championship, Tressel gets number 2 as far as championships go. You start thinking dynasty at that point. And unfortunately, with how OSU got blown out of that game, and I know they went to the national championship the next year and lost to LSU, but it does feel like if you win that, you have such momentum within your program that you're probably set up to win. Kind of like similar to what Saban did, right? Where you get the second one and then it's kind of down the line and you feel confident you're going to get more. If I were to go back to a regular season game, though, Dave, and this is a hard one, this is going to hurt a lot of Buckeye fans. It was that Michigan State game in '98, right? Where you're thinking, okay, this is a great Ohio State team.
Right.
It's a bad Michigan State team or a 500 type Michigan State team, and you feel like this is a team that has a great shot to win it all.
And Ohio State jumped out to a big lead.
OSU was in the lead. It was at home.
Yeah.
That makes it extra painful. So, yeah, that's brutal. The other one is how about that Michigan State home game
2015
in 2015 where it's bad weather. That was a really good Ohio State team coming off the national championship, similar to what I just talked about.
That was their only loss.
Yeah, and similar to what I just talked about let's say you win that game and a good chance that team's winning a national championship as well. So
no doubt about it.
Yeah, why are we going down all these bad memories?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Nate is a loyal listener to the show, and he put it on our YouTube chat. And I said, anybody who wants to put a comment or question on our YouTube chat, and Nate mentioned that, obviously, that
Nate also wants to know why
Texas
you shaved.
Game. Well, I didn't. He said, why'd you shave the beard off? I trimmed the beard.
Yeah.
It's pretty. I trimmed it like a lot.
Still see a little. Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah. Knowing me, it'll grow back too fast. But, I trimmed it maybe a little too close. All right. Up next is my mom's favorite segment. It's This or That on the Money.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Get Eco.
ECO. Hey, Jerry, I think I invented something. Does it solve a problem? It solves a big problem.
Get Eco.
ECO. Heating and cooling companies are telling people your furnace and AC isn't worth fixing. You need to replace it with a whole new system.
You invented a solution for that?
I invented a way to fix those systems for free.
Get Eco.
ECO. That's a great invention. How does it work?
Step 1 is to pay Eco to fix it.
I thought you said you'd fix it for free.
Step 2 is that we give you back all the money that you paid us, up to $1,500 when you get Eco to replace it.
Get Eco.
ECO. What if your repair keeps my system running for several more years?
That would mean you got all those extra years for free.
Paying Eco to fix your AC system is like putting money in the bank.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio!
Right now, save up to $494 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
One of the charms of the game of baseball is its timeless quality. Yet in other ways, the game has changed dramatically over the years. And here's a story from this date, June 29, 1913, that you'll never see today. For on that date, the Reds hosted the Cubs and won 9-6. Nothing unusual about that, except that the teams for the entire game only used one baseball. 9 innings, 15 runs, just one ball. No rules back then about using scuffed or dirty balls, and foul balls had to be returned from the stands, or a fan could be charged with theft. One baseball game, one ball, this June 29, 1913, this date in Reds Baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
What does summer bring to mind? Lazy days by the pool? Hot dogs on the grill? How about large, sweaty men putting work in to defend their national title? Yes! Your summer home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same-game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Matty Ice here. When I needed a new Chevy, I headed to McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Right now, get up to $12,000 off MSRP on a 25 Silverado LD. They've got no market adjustments, no hidden costs, and sales managers are on the floor ready to help. That's been the McDaniel difference since 1916. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
This 4th of July, Bob's Discount Furniture is bringing back 4 for the 4th. Spotlighting 4 must-have trendsetters for $7.99 and under, like my farmhouse chic Calvin bedroom, Play-Day sectional with pop-up sleeper and hidden storage, Consumer Reports recommended treasure mattress, and my 5-star Betty dining set in 4 gorgeous colors. So stop in or visit mybobs.com and celebrate 4 for the 4th. Oh, my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
The champs are back. Ohio State football returns to the Shoe this fall with powerhouse matchups against Texas, Penn State, and more. Your Buckeye Saturdays begin at ohiostatebuckeyes.com, where you can grab single game tickets that are on sale now. Gear up and get ready for game day.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Meteorologist Aaron White with your 10 weather impact forecast here for your Sunday. We're tracking mostly sunny skies and a high of around 89 degrees this afternoon. There will be the chance for a couple pop-up storms, otherwise mostly dry here for today. We'll see a better chance of storms coming in here on Monday with highs in the mid-80s, and then looking ahead to more sunshine and drier conditions as we head into Tuesday and right on through the 4th of July holiday weekend. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan. Dave Biddle was caught trying to bet on office ping pong matchups. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. What a play.
So I love, Dave, that your mom's favorite segment is This or That. My mom's favorite segment is Scotty Doesn't Know. She thinks that song should play every single segment of the show. All right, Cam, let's hit it. This or that. All right, of course, this is a segment where you're getting with this or you're getting with that. Guys, it is 4th of July week, one of my favorite weeks of the year. I can't wait for that on Friday. And one of the things that I enjoy on 4th of July is getting together, doing a little backyard barbecue, and we might have a little margarita and celebrate. So my question to you guys, are you doing your margarita on the rocks or are you going frozen margaritas?
I would not turn down either if you handed me one. I used to prefer frozen when I was younger. Now I prefer margaritas on the rocks with some salt.
Yeah, so I could do both. I'm okay with both. However, I'm thinking 4th of July. I'm thinking that 90-degree probably day. I think I'm going to go with the frozen variety. On a really, really hot day, give me frozen. If I'm not like really hot and outside, though, give me on the rocks. Generally frozen on the hot day. Cam?
I think I'm going to have to go with what Scotty said. If I'm outside on 4th of July, a very hot day, then I'm definitely going with the frozen. Normally, as Scotty can probably attest, I am just a margarita on the rocks guy.
Now, I came up with this before we had that great call from Christian asking us to come up with the top 4 linebackers ever at Ohio State, in our opinion. All right, I want you guys, we're going to pick the 2 best quarterbacks for Ohio State this century. So since 2000, give me 2 best quarterbacks. So guys I jotted down: Troy Smith, Braxton Miller, JT Barrett, Dwayne Haskins, Justin Fields, CJ Stroud, Will Howard, Craig Krenzel. I guess I'll throw him in there as well. They won national titles. Or somebody else, Cardale Jones. All right, so who's your 2? Who are the 2 best quarterbacks for Ohio State this century?
So, and you're putting it as the best quarterbacks, not your favorite quarterbacks, not, the guys who accomplished the most. It's just, to you, the 2 absolute best on the field quarterbacks, regardless of how their season
However you
and
want to
everything
define
went.
it. However you want to define it. Yeah.
All right. I got to go with Justin Fields. I think he is going to be in my top 2, and I think I think I got to go Troy Smith as my second one. I think if we go, and boy, it's crazy to leave out CJ Stroud, but it's crazy to leave out a lot of these guys. But I'm going to go Fields and Troy Smith.
You always wonder if Braxton could have played that last year. He might have been 3-time Big Ten MVP. I think people forget Braxton Miller, 2-time Big Ten MVP, Silver Football Award winner, as a sophomore and a junior. And then because of that Cotton Bowl, Vic Beasley destroying his shoulder, never played quarterback again. I'm not including the Wildcat quarterback. I'm going with Troy Smith. That Heisman is the trump card. Plus, he was a Michigan killer. The best comeback in the history of the rivalry was 20 years ago at Michigan. They were dead in the water, and Troy led them on 2 touchdown drives. First touchdown to Santonio Holmes. Then he had the famous throw to Gonzo, and then Antonio Pittman ran in for a touchdown. So give me Troy Smith, wins the Heisman. Yeah, lost his last game in the national championship game, but Ohio State's offensive line got torn up by Florida's D-line that game. Give me Troy Smith and give me C.J. Stroud. a little bit over Justin Fields. Justin Fields would be my next one. Both those guys definitely got screwed out of at least going to a national championship game. Justin Fields, they should have beat Clemson. The replay official completely stole that game away from the 2019 Buckeyes. And I would say the same thing is true for C.J. Stroud and what ended up being his last game as a Buckeye. Replay official stole that game from them. How Marvin Harrison Jr. gets knocked out cold. They call it targeting on the field, and then they reverse the call by replay. There was another really bad call by that replay official. So I'm going with Troy Smith and C.J. Stroud.
I think I'll have to go with the all-time single-season leading passer and Dwayne Haskins. The way he could throw and spin the ball was 50 touchdowns, 4 interceptions his 1 year as a starter, RIP. And then probably one of my all-time favorite Buckeyes growing up was Troy Smith with the Heisman Trophy back in 2006. So I'll go with Troy Smith and Dwayne Haskins.
So all three of us have Troy Smith in there, which makes sense. He won the Heisman Trophy, but there is no wrong answer.
That's
in
the
this,
thing, isn't it great? I mean, J.T. Barrett, you look at his stats.
Yeah.
We're not even considering him. Braxton Miller, 2-time MVP. Nobody mentions him.
And
right?
oh, by the way, Will Howard just won you a national championship, and you had Craig Krenzel win you a national championship, too.
And Todd Beckman was first-team All-Big Ten. Great Tressel story. So Beckman was first-team All-Big Ten by the media and honorable mention All-Big Ten by the coaches. This is in 2007. Jim Tressel publicly to the media is saying, making fun of his own quarterback, saying, goes to show how much you guys know compared to how much we know. Because the media had Beckman first-team All-Big Ten and the coaches had him honorable mention. So I always thought that was funny from Tress.
Oh, that is funny. I'm glad you asked that question because there's a gambling podcast, a national gambling podcast that I listen to that talks about the lack of success of Ohio State quarterbacks a lot at the next level. And so that's kind of one thing that C.J. Stroud is the guy that's kind of changing that a little bit. So obviously had an incredible rookie year, had an okay second year. However, they still were a playoff team and all that good stuff. So that's another factor for me as well as let's see what C.J. Stroud can do long term in the NFL because OSU has not had the success at that level. Okay, let's go with my next this or that question. Cooper Flagg was the number 1 pick in the NBA draft this week. Do you think Cooper Flagg will be an MVP winner at the NBA level at some point in his career? All the kind of talk about, this is a guy who could ultimately make $1 billion in his career in the NBA and can't miss guy. Do you think he will be an NBA MVP?
I would say no. It wouldn't surprise me. If I had to bet one way or the other, you give me 0.5 NBA MVPs for Cooper Flagg. I'm going to take the under. I probably wouldn't bet a lot on it because he's going to have to get past. There's a lot of young players in the league right now. I mean, SGA is 26, but still, the reigning MVP is pretty young. In his own state, I mean, Wemby is going to be a factor in MVPs, and he's what's Wemby, like 22 or something like that. So, like, I'll say no, but it wouldn't shock me.
I'm going to lean yes on this one, and part of it is I like the situation that he's going into, right? A lot of times you think, okay, number 1 pick, you're going into a team that in a franchise that's an absolute joke, but he's not. And so I think he's going to be able to kind of set the tone relatively early. And I'm not saying he's going to get an MVP in his first 3 or 4 years. However, I do think the franchise that he's going to with Dallas, it makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to say over on the half MVP award.
I still can't believe that the Mavs basically were rewarded for that terrible trade. Go ahead, Cam.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with Scotty. I'm going to go with he will eventually get a MVP, Cooper Flagg. I think he's in a great spot, like you mentioned, and then kind of after probably his first initial contract, he'll be the player for Dallas after Kyrie and AD kind of age out. So I think that'll be a great chance for him to get an MVP award.
We are going to take a quick, and I mean quick, 2-minute timeout and do more of this or that. This is On the Money.
Let's be honest, we could all use a little vacation from the ordinary. But with Tim Hortons' new refreshers, you don't need to pack your bags. Just sip, relax, and enjoy your refreshing 16-ounce vacation. With tropical mango packed with real pineapple and mango pieces, and strawberry watermelon kiwi featuring real pieces of strawberry and kiwi. Also, try it with lemonade or coconut milk. A choose-your-own taste bud adventure. Head to Tim's for the new refreshers. Your 16-ounce vacation awaits, only at your neighborhood Tim Hortons. At participating U.S. restaurants.
Factory direct is really pretty simple. The factory sells it directly to the consumer. I mean, we build it. There's nothing that anybody else does. We have stations where everybody touches the window. Everyone sees what's going on. So if there's an issue, we catch it as it's going down the line. That's probably the biggest thing, is the ability to make sure what goes out the door is what I want to go out the door.
Visit Rosati Windows by the end of this month and get 35% off all windows and doors.
Summer is hot, sticky, and buggy. But Modelo is cold, crisp, and smooth. When you're sweating through your shirt and the beach is mad crowded, the lime and salt flavors of a Modelo Chelada hit just right. When the weather's perfect but you're still at work, it's time to clock out and stock up on Modelo. Drink responsibly. Beer and flavored beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Hey, it's Anthony for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Summer savings, Rich is backing it up. He has rates as low as 0% and leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 25 Honda HR-V LX CVT two-wheel drive? Lease it for only $259 a month. 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $30.39 down. And all trades deserve a sweetener. He's giving you an extra $1,000 for yours. See them for all the details. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Scotty Vegas has his own cot in the casino. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. What a play.
Welcome back to On the Money. Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas, Cam Taylor. We're continuing our This or That segment. Cam Taylor, you were up, my friend.
Alrighty, so would you guys rather be, or are we guys going with being the parent of a star professional player in the NBA, NFL, or I guess it's this, that, or the other, or the MLB? And you got to kind of think about how many games you're going to, their seasons, and then also their longevity. But how about you first, Scotty?
Oh, goodness. Cam, that's a good one. Tough question. So if my son was a professional athlete, would I want him to be in the NFL, Major League Baseball, or NBA? You know what? I guess I would choose baseball. Just thinking about it, like as far as going to different cities, boy, that's a great question. NFL, I'd be a little nervous for the injury front. I feel like I'd be watching every game, being worried he would get hurt. Yeah, I'll go professional baseball. Good question though, Cam.
I'm going straight cash, homie, on this one. So I just looked it up. I thought this was the case. I thought NBA players on average make a decent amount more than their counterparts in the other major sports. And I was right. I didn't know it was to this extent, though. The average NBA salary, $9.6 million a year. Average Major League Baseball salary, $4.9 million a year. Getting almost twice as much money if you're an NBA player. Average salary for an NFL player, this is wrong. It shouldn't be this low. $2.7 million for playing a violent sport. I know they only play 17 games. Baseball's playing 162. Basketball's playing 82. But I'm surprised that the NBA players make as much as they do, comparatively speaking. So give me my son playing in the NBA.
Well, size of roster, right, is a huge factor.
That's
in that.
true. That's true. Absolutely.
How many NBA players you got? You got 12, 13 on a...
And think how big the NBA is in China.
Yeah.
Baseball's big in like Japan and South Korea, but like China obviously has like I think India actually called them Indiana. Indiana passed China, the most populous state in America. No, India passed China as the most populous country, but there's still tons of people in China. It's just more, and there's a lot of people in Europe that love basketball. It's just more of an international sport. Give me NBA, Cam.
I'm going to have to go with NBA as well. A little bit less games. Not that you don't want to go to every single one of your child's games, but 162 of them is a lot. And then the money as well, and then also feeling like they could play for 15, hopefully maybe even 20 years professionally.
Guys, I was driving on the way in and looked at my gas little tank, the meter there, and it said that I had 20 miles till empty. And I'm like, I can get to the station, no problem on that. And so my question to you guys, are you guys someone who likes to see how low you can go as far as the amount of gas in your car, or, oh gosh, once it hits under a quarter of a tank, you're heading to the gas station and you're filling up and taking care of it. Because right now I'm sitting in this parking lot with about 12 miles left. I like to chance it.
Yes, and your light's on, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd never, a quarter tank. I mean, come on. I mean, what are you doing? Unless you see like crazy low gas prices and you don't feel like going out. Okay, maybe then quarter tank. I like to get it, at least my light has to be on. And I won't go quite Cosmo Kramer where I'll see how long I can go before I break down, before I completely run out of gas. But now it's cheating. Now it's cheating. I used to have a car that didn't tell me how many miles I had left. Now this one tells me, so it's like it's kind of cheating, but still, man, I definitely err more on the side of let's see how far I can push it.
Yeah, have you ever pushed it below zero? I have done that.
One time I have.
Yeah.
One time I have.
That's the point where you start sweating and you get nervous and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta go. But for me, honestly, it's very, very rare I fill up or put more gas unless I'm under 25 or below as far as the amount of miles left as far as gas.
So this morning, my car, when I got in, said 0 miles to empty, and so I had to stop at the gas station on the way. So that tells you I definitely chance it from time to time.
Below zero.
Drink. Yeah, if it says you have 0 miles, yeah.
It's fun.
If you can even make, you might need to go out and borrow from your lawnmower or something at that point.
I was nervous at 12. I'm like, okay, at 12, how quickly am I going to get to a gas station from here? Because I'm also not going to be going out of the way to get to the gas station. I like to only, on my route, I don't want to, have to get off the freeway early or anything like that. I want to time it so that it's, directly on my way.
Definitely. All right. You guys getting with dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
This is not even close for me. I'm not a dark chocolate fan at all. Milk chocolate for sure. I love the Dove milk chocolate. So yeah, I'm going milk.
I'm going milk chocolate too. Hershey's. It's a classic Hershey's chocolate. It's always been my favorite. I will say this though. I used to not like dark chocolate at all. My wife's turned me on to it a little bit, so I do like both now, but give me some nice American milk chocolate.
Not big on chocolate, but if I had to pick, it would be milk chocolate. All right, and then another one I have for you guys. Would you guys get with creating a hit TV show, or you are helming a blockbuster movie?
Whoa. Movies, I'm just going at what makes more money. I mean, typically a blockbuster movie is going to make more money than even a hit TV show. Although a hit TV show, if you're talking about Seinfeld, that's a different stratosphere because they're still getting royalties from that
syndication.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I would still like to. So I would be like, you're either the one who creates and produces the hit TV show, or you create and you're directing whatever the blockbuster movie. So do I want to be James Cameron or Larry David? I'll be James Cameron.
Okay, I like the idea of kind of having a TV series. Let's say you go 6 to 8 seasons long and you can really get that thing going, build it up. So I'm going to go TV over movie. And honestly, generally, I prefer TV series over individual movies. So I'll go that route.
Yeah, I think I'll have to also go TV show just because it feels like there's a little bit more longevity. You can keep going back to it. Maybe you can extend seasons, maybe whether they're warranted or not, but you can keep going back to that well. You have just one movie, however good it is, it's just that one time. You can hopefully it's becomes a part of the zeitgeist, but I think a hit TV show has some more staying power.
I still find it hilarious that you have less than 0 miles of gas right now in your car.
No,
he got gas.
I got gas.
Oh, you got the gas.
He saw you had 0 miles left.
And then you went to get the gas.
And you're probably thinking it said 0. It didn't say 1 mile. It said 0. So you're probably thinking there's a chance. I don't know how close you live to the gas station. There's a chance that you were going to run out on your way to the gas station.
Luckily, I live 5 minutes away from the station, so it was a station less than a minute away from this. It was a gas station less than a minute from the radio station. It was just those 4 minutes from my place to getting to the gas station. That was.
Were you sweating? Were you nervous? I
was thinking about it. Have I ever actually ran out of gas? But
I do remember.
I would have picked you up. You'd been fine.
I do remember taking you home one time from the station. Was that because you ran out of gas? I think it was.
No, that's because he was drunk. I'm kidding.
It might have been because of gas.
I think it was.
Or because I might have had too much to drink.
Because you had to go buy a gas can.
Oh, then it probably was gas.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a pretty good hint.
It was probably because I think what it was, I had left my car on or something.
Oh, jeez.
So I feel like this is a gambling show. And so we all like to gamble a little bit. The ultimate gamble is driving around with a zero.
Cam is
on
a
the gas.
is a highway. I mean, he's a big time gambler, a riverboat gambler, not a highway gambler. I'm getting my
he's
analogies.
a highway gambler.
He's a riverboat gambler on the highway with 0 miles. Well, I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you. It reminded me of the time that Tito had to call. He broke down. This wasn't because of gas. It was because it was an ice storm, and he was pretty close to the station. He was on 33, somewhere around that Wendy's. Somewhere near like Sheets near this, a couple miles away. He had to call an Uber because we were on the air.
That's right.
So we couldn't go get him. So he called an Uber to pick him up and made it in time for the show. Or maybe he was a little bit late. Yeah, he was a little bit late. I remember that was the same day the Bengals were playing the Bills in a playoff game. It was at Buffalo. It was been the 2022 season. And I think I had to do like the first segment of Fan Sports Sunday with DeVere, and then Tito came in.
Isn't that funny how we kind of equate all of the memories in our life back to what sporting event was going on that day? Like I still can remember exactly specific details of people's wedding based on games that were also that day. I remember I was late to a college buddy's wedding because I was watching Texas and Oklahoma. It was a noon game, and I'm watching, and I'm like, I can't leave this to go to the wedding. And I was actually ended up being late to the wedding, and he was kind of mad at me for being late to the wedding. But it's funny how we equate all of these memories to different sporting events.
Before you give do you have another one you want to give?
Sure.
Okay. Before we do that, I do want to go to our YouTube chat. Okay. This is from Nate. Again, he says, Scott, I'm curious if your mom has seen the scene in Eurotrip where Matt Damon sings Scotty Doesn't Know.
Oh, that's a good question. I do not believe so. I would guess no.
Mrs. Vegas might not be a fan of the uncut version of that song. Like when we had to put that in, it's like, okay, you're gonna have to beep out a lot of words here. It's a great song, but yeah, I don't think Mrs. Vegas has seen that one.
No, but to answer the question as far as that song, it's funny how many people bring it up to me. It is nonstop. Is talking about this show and the station and everything. When we're out, that's one of the first things people bring up is that song, that movie, and that segment is the Scotty Doesn't Know, and people love to bring that up.
We had the very nice couple we met at Hollywood Casino, the ESPN Sportsbook out there. They're like, we really like the show, but can you do more Scotty Doesn't Knows? It's our favorite segment. So we had one last week. We can't do it every week. We don't want to oversaturate it like we do this or that or anything like that. We want to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
My little knock on this or that. All right, give me one more this or that, speaking of.
Going back to the Ohio State quarterback situation. So Lincoln Kienholz, okay, this is this or that. Does Lincoln Kienholz start multiple games at quarterback this year for Ohio State?
Give me that again.
Does Lincoln Kienholz start multiple games at quarterback for Ohio State this year?
I am not getting with that, no. I could see him starting one if Julian gets banged up or something like that. I mean, we saw Kyle McCord start a game his true freshman year when they rested C.J. Stroud with that shoulder. So I can see him starting one. I'm going to say no, he's not going to start multiple.
I'm going to get that he will start multiple. And my reasoning is it's such a long season now that I could see Ohio State deciding the Grambling game and, some of these other games where, maybe saying isn't 100%. And obviously he's the second quarterback. You're talking potentially 16 games this year. I'm going to say that, yes, Lincoln Kienholz will start multiple games for the Buckeyes.
I'm going to go with Scotty and say yes, because of the long season, possible injury issues, that he will start at least 2 games.
All right, I got one more quick one. You guys going with, generally speaking, if you need to shave, you going with an electric razor? You just going with a regular straight razor?
I'm going regular straight. In fact, I was debating this morning whether it was time to shave because I'm not like you. I can't go with that full thick beard. It gets too itchy for me, so I get rid of it once it gets to about this point. But yeah, I'm not electric. I'm going with that straight razor.
Yeah, if I had to pick one of the two, it'd be straight razors. Now, this morning, I trimmed it with an electric razor and then used the straight razor on the neck and everything. So I did a little bit of this and this, a little bit of this and that. But generally speaking, give me the straight razor.
I'm going with electric. I actually used it yesterday, shaved my beard off because it's just getting way too hot.
All All right, up next is Best Bets, and we're going to read some of your comments from our YouTube page. That is up next on The Money.
Whatever you're doing right now, just know that Bo Bishop is enjoying a sip of bourbon, even if this promo is playing in the morning. No judgment.
Ah, sweet morning drinking.
The Fan.
When you join the plus side with AAA, that's all you'll have to do. Or you could learn to change your own tire.
Hey fam, what's up? Today I'm gonna teach you to change a flat. Before we start, make sure it's not raining, or hailing, or lightning.
You can have AAA find you the right insurance policy, or you can shop for your own.
Hello?
I'm with Mega Insure. You requested a quote?
Yes, 3 months ago.
You could have our travel advisors plan your dream vacation, or book your own travel.
Woo! Panama City Beach, spring break.
I thought you said we were going to Panama.
Wait, there's a difference?
Skip the hard work. On the plus side, get more with AAA. Go to AAA.com/plus side.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is. It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
The champs are back. Ohio State football returns to the shoe this fall with powerhouse matchups against Texas, Penn State, and more. Your Buckeye Saturdays begin at ohiostatebuckeyes.com, where you can grab single-game tickets that are on sale now. Gear up and get ready for game day.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's Gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
Hollywood Casino Columbus is bringing the funny this summer. Tiffany Haddish takes the mic on Friday, July 18th with the Funny and Fearless Tour. Then Dion Cole Live hits the stage Friday, September 5th for a night of nonstop laughs. 2 comedy icons, 2 unforgettable nights. Get your friends, grab a drink, and get ready to laugh all night long. Big names, big laughs, only at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Tickets available at Ticketmaster. Visit HollywoodColumbus.com for more details. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Nashville's hottest band, Old Dominion, is coming to Great American Ballpark on July 10th as part of the Ohio Lottery post-game concert series. After the Reds take on the Marlins, all fans in attendance are invited to stay and enjoy a set from Old Dominion. Plus, you can upgrade your ticket to a pit field pass for an up-close view of the show. For tickets and more information, visit reds.com/concerts.
Bob Yoakum, president of Rockford Homes, talks about what makes First Bank of Central Ohio different.
I would say it starts by caring. It starts by doing what you say you're going to do and following through on it. When you're talking about local, you're talking about relationships and people that matter to you. I don't care if that's personally or professionally.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here to help keep you on the road so you can soak up all the summer fun. The road tunes.
Take me out to the ball game.
Hotel pools. Emergency ice cream stops. The sunscreen and bug spray everywhere.
It's in my eyes!
At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, we're here for it all. So stop in for a quick oil change before you go. Only takes about 15 minutes. No appointment needed.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas both think they're right. Chances are they're both wrong. On the Money presents Best Bets.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Yeah, it is time for money-making time on the Money. It is Best Bets. And look, I'm on a little bit of a heater, Dave. I hit on a big amount last Sunday for PGA top 20s, and it was a 5-figure win for me. It was awesome. And so what I'm doing, I'm trying to do the exact same thing again today, where I've lined up guys to be top 20 of the Rocket Mortgage up in Detroit. So here's what I did. I parlayed all the guys that are 15 under or better together, and you can do that and get some really, really good odds. So I highly recommend that. Not all sites let you parlay top 20 odds. However, I think there's great value in that. The other thing is, once I won that one last Sunday, my brother-in-law, who follows baseball very closely and is a big-time baseball bettor, sent me a baseball bet. And it was a 3-way parlay, moneyline parlay, and it ended up coming through as well at 5-1. So my good buddy Chris, soon-to-be brother-in-law Chris, sent me a baseball one today to share, and it's Yankees on the money line, and it is also it's Yankees over Giants on the money line, or it's Yankees and Giants both on the money line at plus 150. So
I think I met him. Did he go on the party bus with us?
He was on the party bus,
and I thought he was your brother.
Yeah, he will be.
Because you said
soon.
your brother was coming with us.
Yeah,
and you're back in the back, and you're sitting next to your wife and her sister and another guy. So I figured that was your brother. And I'm sitting by a guy who was right next to me and further away from you. And halfway through, I look at this guy like we're talking. I'm like, man, he looks a lot like Scott. I'm surprised this isn't his brother. That was your brother. And your future brother-in-law was not your brother-in-law at the time. But yeah, because you had told me, yeah, my brother's coming too.
Correct.
I just figured that's who it had to be.
Yes. So two brothers on the same bus. Yeah, kind of confusing.
It was.
Okay. So Yankees and Giants, that pays plus 150, both on the money line today, and throwing in a no home run bet today. And it is the St. Louis Cardinals against the Cleveland Guardians. No home run pays plus 440. So those are your best bets for this Sunday from me.
Well, I'm glad the relationship worked out. What was it? That was like
it's a surprise. That was an upset.
That was 6 years ago. It took him a while to tie the knot, huh?
Right.
Hey.
And the odds were not good.
The odds were not good. You bucked the odds, so congratulations, guys.
I'm kidding. They're amazing. I love them.
Great. I'm sure they're listening to the show right now, so congratulations, kids. All right, I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face because I can't believe it hasn't changed. Illinois over 7.5 wins. If you listen to all our shows, you've heard me say this. Illinois over 7.5 wins. Why? Last year, they were 9-3 in the regular season. They were 10-3 overall, but we're just talking about regular season over-under wins. I think Illinois is going to be better than what they were last year. Or at the very least, I think they're going to be 9-3. And they could go 8-4 and you win the bet. I just don't see Illinois being 7-5 or worse. They do have to host Ohio State, but other than that, their schedule is very manageable. Not quite Indiana level last year, but still very manageable. They've got the veteran quarterback back in Drew Altmaier. They've got a lot of players back. Bielema is doing a good job there. Again, man, I like you have the wiggle room there. If it was 8.5, I still wouldn't hate the bet, but 7.5, I think Illinois is going to go over that. I'm not going Lock City. Indiana last year was Lock City at 5.5. It took them 6 games to reach their over-under of 5.5 wins. Cincinnati the previous year, I had them going under. I said it was a lock. I'm not going to say it's a lock, but I really like Illinois over 7.5 wins.
You know what? It's a shame that my computer here has been down. Like, I got the big blue screen of death on the computer here at the studio because we got some really good YouTube comments. And now finally I was able to reset that computer and see these great comments. And people seem to like to talk about the favorite Buckeye quarterbacks, Dave, and we got some mentions out there. So your two favorite, again, we said from 2000 and beyond as far as quarterbacks.
Two best is how I said it. It could be, yeah, it could be your favorite. However you define it, two best, and you can say, well, does the NFL count? Does C.J. Stroud's rookie year factor in? If you wanted to, it can. You know, I tend to factor in everything. I factor in more what they did at Ohio State. So I have Troy Smith and C.J. Stroud. But, man, we were saying there's no wrong answers. You have Justin Fields as one of yours. Yep. Cam has Dwayne Haskins as one of his.
But we all had Troy Smith.
We all had Troy Smith. And let's get to some of the replies here because you're right. People definitely love chiming in on this. All right, who was the first one to chime in? Let's start right at the top here. Nate. Not surprisingly, Nate was the first to chime in. Love you, Nate. Troy Smith and Dwayne Haskins. He agrees with Cam. Next up is Christopher agrees with you. C.J. Stroud, Justin Fields. Nate does say Terrell Pryor was underrated. I agree with that. I think Braxton Miller somehow is underrated. Again, he didn't even play his senior year. He would have been 3-time Big Ten MVP. Troy Smith and Terrell Pryor for Milan Ellswood. Sage, Ohio says Fields was screwed by the COVID year. Okay, let's see.
I'll be honest,
anybody else?
TP would not have been in my top 4. And again,
yeah, and he was good. I mean, you look at his. I know the season didn't count. You look at TP's stats in 2010. He had a great year.
I get it. Yeah, I still wouldn't have had him in my top 4 quarterbacks at Ohio State since 2000.
No, I mean because you're going to have to get past Troy Smith, Haskins,
Braxton,
Stroud. Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
And Will Howard won a national championship, and so did Craig Krenzel.
And Joe Burrow, does he count? No, that doesn't count. All right, that is our show for today. Thank you very much for joining us. For Scotty Vegas and Cam Taylor, I am Dave Biddle, but don't go anywhere. Up next is the Fan Collins Show with Ryan Baker and Scotty Vegas. Give the boys a call. The number is 614-821-9710. 614-821-9710. This has been On the Money.
1, 2, 3. Here at the Fan, it's always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
We could tell you what makes Giant Eagle special, but we think our customers say it best.
I love the fresh produce. I love the fresh meat.
I'm pretty sure the fish guy knows me by now. We're buds.
I love to grill. That alone keeps me coming back.
The people that work here are so nice and so helpful.
Everybody loves the cakes from Giant Eagle.
On every shelf, in every department, we're always going for better because being your Giant Eagle matters.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom.
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Do your summer plans include travel? Make sure your prep includes more than just flights and hotels. Stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccination, especially if you're 65 or older or have certain health conditions. There have been surges in COVID-19 in the summer, too. It's important to help protect yourself no matter your destination. So check eligibility and schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. That's VAXAssist.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Save big money now on siding at Menards. Update and beautify your home with your choice of 13 timeless colors of pre-finished LP SmartSide engineered siding. It's durable and includes a Sherwin-Williams machine-applied paint warranty that means no painting for years to come. Save big money today on all LP SmartSide products. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived, the only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. and be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers.
And I'm his very overpaid celebrity endorser, Common Man. Bob, I heard somewhere, actually from you many, many times, that Worthington Jewelers is where Columbus gets engaged.
It's too bad you and Timmy can't engage the audience.
Good zing, Bob.
If you're thinking of popping the question, there's only one place to go.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington. WorthingtonJewelers.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.